It is day 40 of the South African lockdown, and we have heard from the haves and the have-nots. From business to the middle class, climate warriors, gig economy workers, you catch the drift. But what about those considered to be outcasts of our society? The voiceless, the homeless. I am Numpilo Gunene, and welcome to the Witness Podcast.
So yeah, when I came here, it was one of the best opportunities for me.
So would you say that like the lockdown and the COVID-19
It
pandemic
came at a great time.
and it seems like it's like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Roxanne, okay, can I have your name, your age, and where you were born?
I'm Roxanne. I'm Roxanne Jackson. I'm 29. I'm born in Pietermaritzburg.
Okay. And Roxanne, can you tell me how you ended up? I understand that you are homeless at the moment. Is it?
Basically, how I ended up here is I was actually a sex worker. And I used to operate on the streets, etc. So how I ended up here is I was brought in by the municipality, obviously because of the COVID-19. And yeah, since I've been here, so far so good.
And can you tell me how you ended up working as a sex worker before you even came in here? And can you tell me how long you've been working there?
As a sex worker, I think I've worked for about 3.5 years or so. It's all started out with friends, and then from there gradually got into drugs, and yeah, just couldn't get out of it thereafter.
And what drugs were you?
It was heroine,
Heroin.
which is called here wunga,
Oh, okay.
and rock as well.
Okay, so when did you get here at the shelter? Do you remember the date?
Unfortunately not, but I think it's about 3 weeks or a month now. Yeah.
And when they told you about this rehab program, because I'm sure it's optional, they don't force it on you.
No, they don't force it on you. When I was told about it, I was actually very happy, to be honest, because even though I was on the streets at that moment and I was doing drugs, there was always this thing that I wanted to quit. I wanted to get rehabilitated. I wanted to change. But there was no other option, you know? There was no like other way of getting out, should I say. So yeah, when I came here, it was one of the best opportunities for me.
So would you say that like the lockdown and the COVID-19
It
pandemic
came at a great time.
and it seems like it's like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And can you tell me about the program? What does it entail? What do you have to do?
Basically, well, we stay here, as you do know, in the female section. We get up in the morning, we do like normal things like eating, having breakfast, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, there's people that come in, like church. We get time to pray and, you know, things like that. And then there's other people that come in, like the YFC, is a YFC or YMCA. They give us like motivational, talks. They help us like gain our self-esteem. They also give us like exercises, different things to do. Yeah.
And how has it been like for 3 weeks? You haven't been on drugs. How
Well,
has
to
that
be
been?
honest, the first week, the withdrawals were hectic, painful. It's a horrible sight. But then with the support that we get from everybody that comes in, like the guys I just mentioned now, yeah, it makes it easier.
And how has the shelter life been compared to the life back out in the streets?
I must say it's much easier. Everything is I mean, you get everything here. You don't have to stress about anything. It's not a, you don't have to hustle, actually, should I say. Yeah.
And how are you feeling right now? How do you feel?
I feel like $1,000,000.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. And we don't know when the pandemic will end, but then I don't know if maybe you've gotten into time to think about your future after this whole thing. Or do you have plans as yet? Or
Well, there are quite a few things that I've thought about. Being here has given me an opportunity of actually getting a lot of time to myself, and with all the motivational speeches that we get, it like makes you want to push forward. Being a hairdresser, I'm a hairdresser by profession.
I think I might need you.
Yeah, that's what I want to get into. I've thought about it. It's actually my dream. Yeah.
And can you still go back home?
Well, I do have my relatives, of course. Yeah, I haven't left on a bad note. Yeah.
Also, there's always an option to go back home. Okay, and are you considering it?
Well, not now.
Okay,
Not
okay.
now.
And how have your mates here at the shelter been handling it as well? Assume that most of you are on the program. How have you guys been supporting each other? Have you been each other's shoulder to cry on?
Yeah, we do support each other. If a person gets up in the morning and they're a bit weak and demotivated or whatever, we're there to, motivate each other. And yeah, we're there for each other, bottom line.
Okay, cool. Have you ever tried to stop using
Yes,
before this?
yes.
And how did that go?
I almost died. And I just went back. But this time, well, I can say it's the longest I've stopped using for. And I do hope to continue to keep it that way.
Okay. I don't know if there's anything else that you'd like to add, Roxanne.
Now, I just like to thank everybody that's involved. They've really given us a second chance at life, and that's what most of us need. Yeah.
Okay, I'm Reverend Kulego Kumalo from KwaZulu-Natal Christian Council, coordinator of Vulnerable Youth and Children's Ministry. Then we are in partnership with Umsunduzi local municipality as part of the regulations of COVID-19, formulating of shelters for homeless people and vulnerable youth. So what we do as KZNCC, we coordinate the work in terms of programs that should be run in and to foresee the future after lockdown or post-lockdown.
And I understand that you guys also run a rehab facility here at the center. Can you just tell me about that and how many beneficiaries you have on the program and what exactly does the program entail?
Okay, as I've mentioned on my introduction, that this initially was initiative was part of responding to government call for support for the homeless, and then what came on board is that let us say 98% of people that were homeless were also involved in substance. As in terms of substance abuse, it's either using of drugs, smoking of cigarette, and then maybe consuming of alcohol. Partially. And then what happened that when we brought the people here, then we had to look into programs, as I've mentioned earlier. So one of the programs that we had to incorporate on our activities was on rehabilitation, where we basically start with detoxing, and then invite relevant stakeholders that assist us, that are specifically dealing with rehabilitation processes.
And what was the feeling among the homeless people when you approached them with this program? Were they keen to join in?
Yes, truly speaking, we at the beginning, let me say maybe the first week or so, second week, we had quite a group of reluctant members from the group that were not willing to participate on the programs. on such programs. However, we had just to put up measures and then support, but we were mostly supported by the initiative from the law and government that was saying homeless people should be catered for.
Do you have any like success stories, maybe of an individual that you started with from the beginning, and you have seen it growth that has amazed you?
On that one, yes, we can say we share successful stories. Not, I will not say an individual per se, but we share a success story on the, as I've mentioned, on the groups, because it's not that it was our first time working with the members of the 26th of March. We have been involved with the members, homeless members, but then working with them from the street, and then organizations like YMCA, organizations like Youth for Christ. We have been partnering to work together whilst they were on the streets. But then we can quickly say we have seen a drastic change in them emotionally, and then just physically we have seen drastic change when they've been here for the past 4 weeks. So we can really say from our side, from what we've been looking for, really we can share success story. Definitely then it will be post-lockdown when we can really give the stats in terms of the numbers of those who are saying then they really went through the part of rehabilitation, they are fine and so forth. But for now, because all of us we are cooperating on regulations, so we cannot really say we show that this person has gone through. As we know that rehabilitation is a process, it's not just an overnight. Really post lockdown at that time, after all the levels, that exactly our impact has hit the right position.
Okay, thank you very, very much for
Are we done?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are.